Peace and love, YouTube. Simara Ifawui. We're coming to you live today from the beautiful country of Costa Rica. Um, and today I wanted to focus on speaking about how we support new mothers and just the whole concept of, allowing a mother to have time, whether it's 40 days, 30 days, or whatever it is, postpartum, in order to kind of recuperate and to integrate, the experience of everything she's gone through physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so, many of you may not know because I don't really talk about it or promote it much, but I am a certified postpartum birth worker. So I was certified with the nafsa project school in 2019 in the traditional Moroccan postpartum care system. So basically, we have various ways that we approach the postpartum mother, the new mother, in order to support her in her process of integration and revitalization. So I'm excited to speak a little bit about it because I haven't done a video about this yet that I know of, and it's a really beautiful thing to consider all that women go through in the birthing process. So basically, this concept of giving the mother, the new mother, 40 days, giving her a period of time to recover after giving birth is not a new one. It's one that kind of is seen throughout the world. In Mexico, they suggest a woman have a cuarentena, which I think is about 30 days, where they're just taken care of. They're supported, they're able to rest. There's no demands being placed on them by other family members. Even in other parts of the world, in Asia, they're really big on giving new mothers time to recuperate. In China, they have something that's called a payu, which they say means mothering the mother. So that's a time where the new mother gets a chance to rest, to recuperate, to drink soup and warming foods, to drink warming herbs and teas, and to just kind of come back into her body. And so that's China. In Japan, they have a period. They call that Sotagari Bunbin. I'm not sure about any of the pronunciations. I hope I'm not tearing them up. But they have their period. In Korea. They do some ili or some chilil. And yeah, all over. You'll see it in Eastern Europe. You see it in parts of Africa. You see this in particular in Morocco, which is the system that I'm trained under, the postpartum care system. And so it's very important that we recognize that, a woman, the pregnancy is a whole, kind of transformative period in a woman's life. Her hormones undergo so much, her body undergoes so much, and then come to the height of that and to climax into the birthing process. It's almost like an emptying takes place after a woman gives birth, and it's a time where her hormones are having to balance themselves and kind of come back into this new structure and way of being, in order to support her being now a breastfeeding mother, if that's what she's doing. So there's a lot of change and shift that's going on there. And when a new mother doesn't feel supported by family, by a partner, or by kind of some of the things that would lend support to a person after going through so much physical, mental shifts and traumas, because it is traumatic. It is a certain level of trauma that takes place with birthing. A lot of times those are women that would be susceptible to things like postpartum depression and different aspects of just having a negative or a very kind of sad postpartum experience. And so we want to support new mothers. And then that's something that me personally, having come from a woman who did suffer from very terrible postpartum depression after giving birth to me, partially because her birthing experience was trauma. She dealt with domestic violence from my father, and so he traumatized her into birth. And so, with that being the case, the postpartum period was not good, and she was subsequently put on very heavy medications that kind of altered the whole course of her life after that. And so, it's a very serious thing that we support new mothers. And so, in the tradition, the Moroccan tradition that I learned from, the nafsa project school with Layla Rashid and all of them over there, it was a beautiful program. What we do is, first of all, we do several different things in that system, but basically it's important to welcome the new mother, so welcoming her into motherhood and all of what that looks like. So for instance, welcoming her would include the process of making her feel like comfortable, allow her to come back into her body, into herself, now with a new baby, but she's still able to feel, a certain level of comfort, a certain level of being accommodated, and people kind of almost fussing around her, trying to make sure that, they're doing more things to lessen, the release of cortisol, the stress, and all the hormonal changes that will cause negative experiences, and increase the oxytocin, increase her ability to feel good about her new status and everything that she's experiencing. So we want to do what we can to increase the oxytocin. We want to make sure she's comfortable, that she's warm, that she is, being supported in regards to reducing a lot of the inflammation and the things that will come with the birthing experience, whether it's, rectal or perineum or any other things that, the breast pain and trying to come into, waiting for your milk to come in and getting used to the breastfeeding process. There's so many things. And so trying to appease that and to make sure she's comfortable and that she's, not getting cold winds on her. And all of the different things, that's part of the welcoming process. And in the Moroccan tradition, they consider the new mother as like someone that should be taken care of, just like a new bride, and they consider her, someone that should be doted on for at least 40 days, at least. And so it's very important that we, recognize the importance of welcoming her. Secondly, we nourish the new mother, so nourishing the new mother. What does that mean? It has a lot to do with, providing her with healthy cuisine, warming cuisine, healthy herbs that will help to warm her body. Again, when you give birth, there's a certain kind of vacancy or a vacuousness that you will feel because you've been emptied out. And so a lot of cold can set in, and that's where you'll have, a lot more issues with, inflammatory and different issues based upon this kind of frigidness that can set in if it's overexposed to cold. So it's important to keep the new mother warm. You'll see that through all traditions, through all cultures. It's very, very important that she stays steamed up, warm. And so that has a lot to do with, the things that we do postpartum to support her. And so in nourishing her, whether she's vegetarian or meat eater or whatever, you want to make sure she's eating, things like in the Moroccan tradition, a lot of lentil soups with spices, ginger, cardamom, fenugreek, different spices that are warming, that will help with the digestion, because also, obviously her gut has been impacted by the process of birthing, and so anything that can kind of help and support digestion is going to be really impactful at that time, right? And so feeding her, making sure she has the warm teas, making sure that she's, just really fully just being cared for in that way. So we welcome, we nourish, we nurture. So the nurturing is getting more into the actual particular treatments or therapeutic aspects of what we do as postpartum workers of the traditional Moroccan system. Nurturing her is through a process called the hamam. So hamam is basically a steam and scrub bath that involves the use of Beldi soap and olive soap, the hasul clay, henna, okay, green henna, and a particular cloth that we are, a scrubbing cloth that we use, and it's just getting that new mother into a warm, steamy environment with warm waters, and just applying and pouring water over her while massaging her with the clays, with the special very soapy, very kind of sudsy soap, and with the henna, and just kind of helping her to release through her pores, and to feel relaxed and feel massaged, and to feel the warmth of the steam on her body, kind of further pushing warmth into her center, right? And so that is some of the ways that we will actually, nurture the new mother, and then also scrubbing her with our special scrubbing sponge that just helps to kind of slough off the dead skin, slough off the old, and allow for the new, so it's a regeneration. It's a cleansing, a release, and a regeneration. And so these are some of the things that we do for the new mother in the nurturing aspect. As well, yoni steams are something that is involved in the process of working with the new mother. So womb steaming is something that's, a lot of women are talking about, have been talking about. I used to focus very much on womb steaming with women, and creating the different herbal blends for them, and helping them to get supported on that journey of making that a part of our life. But even in this tradition, in the Moroccan tradition, womb steaming is a part of the postpartum process, and it can be done in a couple of different ways. They use an herb called apple mint, which is a very, very important herb in the Moroccan postpartum tradition. And a lot of times in that warm, steamy environment, the new mother might be requested to sit on some herbs that are being steamed out with hot water. So either sitting on the herbs, or sitting over a pot of the herbs. And there are various herbs that you can use in this, postpartum womb steam. But, the main thing is that we're still adding heat, bringing steam, bringing vapors, herbal vapors into the vaginal tissues, and just allowing that to circulate, and to go and penetrate throughout, into her womb, into her, female organs, and just, healing and rejuvenating, and bringing that warmth in to an area that is now, kind of gone frigid in a certain type of way. And so it's really important that we do different things to support new mom, not just leave her there and, take her a meal and go on, but really, really strongly, powerfully support her. We also have a process in the traditional Moroccan system that's called closing of the bones. So many of you are been getting more into the closing of the bones process. It's something that you'll hear about, particularly in Mexican culture. The Mayans have a system of bone closing that's done a little differently than the way it's done in Morocco. But closing of the bones is a swaddling technique, and a technique in which a woman is, wrapped with cloth, and that cloth is, kind of tightened around her body. And I'll actually insert some video and some footage of that. And it's just a process of kind of pulling her back together. So again, now that she's giving birth, she's open, she's released, there's a vacuousness. Let's pull it back together. Let's help her organs go back into the right positioning, in the right place, and just support her in feeling more integrated, and more able to, just feeling complete and whole, even though she's kind of been dispersed in a certain way, and now the baby went from being inside of her to outside of her. It's a lot to process. And so in this ritual ceremony of closing the bones, it helps her to kind of pull it back together, right? And so the bone closing is a beautiful ceremony. A lot of women go through major healing during the closing of bone ceremony. And it's just a beautiful way to, acknowledge and to support and to help a new mother in feeling like she can face whatever, this process of parenting and mothering is going to look like for her. So and celebrating too. I mean, one of the things we like to do in the traditional Moroccan system is to really celebrate new mom, you know. So there will be parties in their tradition. There's a lot of singing and undulation and ululation, not undulation, and just a lot of praising the Creator and God for this new life and this mother, this nafsa, this new mother who's going to be, you know, helping rear the next generation. So there's a celebratory energy around it. And so in doing all of this, it's just setting up a good foundation for a successful parenting experience, you know, whether it's a single mother or a mother in a two-parent family, it's still giving her, you know, a beautiful foundation for the start of her journey, right? And so I'm excited. We are going to be offering some of these services from the northern part of Costa Rica. So we're going to be doing it in the La Fortuna area in Alajuela. So La Fortuna is up close to Arenal volcano. All the hot springs are up there, the waterfalls, all the beautiful fresh waters. So we're going to be utilizing particularly the hot springs in our process of offering, you know, these postpartum therapies and services to our new mothers, and just really integrating it all with nature in a way, you know, while still keeping in mind all the important aspects of things such as, you know, maintaining the warmth and keeping new mom out of winds and really just keeping new mom very comfortable. And so all of these things will be offered hopefully in the context of a retreat. Usually we do the ceremonies and the various aspects within that, you know, we start them within that first week. So it might not be, you know, really that easy for a new mother to travel during that time, right? But for those that are here and that do want to have a certain kind of experience, with, you know, beautiful scents. We bring in the orange blossom water and the rose waters and the oils and the herbs and just all of the aromas and the beauty and the massage and all of the things that, you know, will help to allow a person to, or a new mother to release stress and to really come back into herself and feel relaxed and feel happy and feel satisfied. These are the things that we are going to be offering. So it's going to be fun. I will keep you posted on when everything is prepared and when we're receiving women, and just keep in mind the new mothers in your life, you know, support them. You know, however you do it, support them, rub them down, you know, rub them with oil, help them to feel support, help them to feel nurtured, help them to feel, you know, blissful, oxytocin, and the release of positive, beautiful hormones that will help them to feel strengthened to go forward. All right. Give thanks for listening. I hope y'all are having a beautiful Saturday, and we'll be in touch soon. Please like the video, subscribe, share, whatever it is. I'm grateful.